morning, Skidaway. My heart this week has continuously gone to this verse in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 31, which says, "Let he who would boast, boast in the Lord." Now, if you recall, if you were with me last week, we watched Jacob flee from a death threat of Esau with the help of his mother Rebekah. He returned to Rebekah's household to her brother Laban and begins to work for him. Now, at this point, Jacob has nothing. He is quite literally using rocks as pillows. But God's blessing is upon him, and we see Laban's wealth increase as a direct result of having Jacob work for him. And when he asks, "What would your wages be?" Jacob replies, "Let me marry your second daughter, Rachel," and Laban agrees. Now, after working 7 years, Laban is a little bit greedy. He notices his wealth being contingent upon the work of Jacob and God's blessing. And this isn't the first time that this has happened. Abraham has been known as a man whose God's hand was upon. We see it several times. And Abraham, in fact, says to Abimelech at one point that, "I will take nothing from you, so you cannot say that you made Abraham great." God has a blessing for this family, and it is apparent to the rest of the world. Now, so Laban tricks Jacob to get an additional 7 years of work for him by marrying his oldest daughter, Leah, to him, saying that he couldn't do it the other way around because it was against culture. And so Jacob is married to Leah and then Rachel, but we know Rachel is the beautiful one, and she holds Jacob's heart. Where I want to focus, though, is on Leah. See, Leah, with all of this happening, is got to be, bitter. Her heart has got to be breaking because her worth is tied into this beauty. And obviously she can't compare to her sister. That's got to be heart-wrenching. But God sees this and sends her comfort by allowing her to conceive. It increases her worth. Now, with that, she names her first son Reuben, asking for Jacob's affections to come back to her. She does it again with her second son Simeon, saying, "Now I have given you a second born. Let your affections come back to me." And obviously it doesn't happen because with Levi, she once again names him to garner the attentions of Jacob. And all of this is very heartbreaking, but finally with the fourth son, she names him Judah, saying, "Now I'm going to give praise to God." See, that's what God has really been hammering in my heart this week, is that our worth is not tied to anything on earth. It's not tied to our beauty, to our wealth, to our youth. It is not tied to our ability to win people to our sides. It is tied to nothing but Jesus Christ. Our worth is wholly felt in the sacrifice of Christ. Because when God looks at us, he doesn't see our sins or our afflictions or our weakness. He sees Christ. He sees this blameless son. He sees us made in the image. He sees us as we were created to be. And that is awesome. There is nothing here that I can boast on my own power that can compare to what I can boast in when God's hand is in my life. Have a good day, Skidaway.